Hello everybody, welcome back to the Spoked Wheel YouTube channel. Today we're back with episode 20 of the Andy Schleck Pro Cyclist mode playthrough. We got three pretty exciting races on the calendar for today. First off, we have the 8th and final stage of the Tour de l'Avenir, another mountain stage. This time it's only 88 kilometers long. And then we have two additional one-day races in Turkey that are both classified as mountain profiles. The second one has a bit more climbing, but the first one seems to have the largest climb up there to the finish. So ideally, if things go according to plan, we could maybe even pick up 3 wins today, but our main priority is going to be trying to defend our lead in the general classification at the Tour de l'Avenir. Just make sure we hold on to that win. Alright, so we're into stage 8 of the Tour de l'Avenir. We have to start out with a quick shout out to our teammate Mauro Schmid, who in real life won stage 11 of the Giro d'Italia yesterday, the crazy gravel stage to Montalcino. It was a great win. I think it was his first win of his pro career, so very cool to see our teammate in the game getting a win like that. But moving back to Andy Schleck, this should be a pretty crazy stage. Really, the one guy we have to worry about on GC is Henry van den Belle, because everyone else is outside of 10 minutes back of us on general classification. So I think we can afford to ride a bit more defensively today after going on that lengthy breakaway attack the other stage. So I would expect to just kind of sit in the peloton over these first Category 1 climbs and then wait for riders to attack us on the final climb. But we're on another pretty solid day, +2 to our mountain rating, so shouldn't really be too much trouble to defend our lead and hold on to the GC title. So I was not paying attention at all. I was fast forwarding through the stage, and I just realized that Henry van den Belle, our main competition on GC, is 3 minutes up the road from us. So we got to kick things into gear a little bit here. We don't really have any teammates to work for us, so we might as well attack up over the top of this climb and try and chase a little bit on the descent, I guess. We have this guy, Vossard, for company, who I think was in the breakaway getting KOM points not too long ago. And we also have a couple other riders, the whole peloton basically joining us now. So it might actually be smart to chase on the descent and then recover on the flat and then just go all out on the final climb to try and catch him. But I really hope that we don't lose the GC because of this, because we're actually 7 minutes back now, and I was just completely not paying attention. Alright, we're basically on the foot of the final climb now. Thankfully, the gap has come down a ton. Van den Belle is now just about 3 minutes up the road, so at this moment in time we'd be keeping our yellow jersey, and hopefully we can keep it that way. We're just going to keep sitting here as long as these other teams are riding at the front of the peloton, but once the pace goes out of the group, we'll take things up ourselves and try and chase back Van den Belle, because he's really our main threat on GC. And no sooner have I said that than the pace does indeed pretty much go out of the group, so we're going to put it on effort cursor now. We're not going to be riding at 85 effort to start. Let's put it down to about 65, I guess, with 15 kilometers still to go. That's a lot of climbing to do, so I don't want to go too deep and blow up and then lose even more time. So we're going to sit at this pace for a while. I guess we'll kind of reassess as the climb goes on and the gap fluctuates, but I'm hoping that our 80 mountain on the day is going to be enough to claw this back and save the race for us. We're on this flatter section now with just over 7 kilometers to go. The gap is holding pretty steady at about 4 minutes, which is rather concerning considering we don't have a ton of energy left, and entering the day, Van den Belle was 4 minutes and 15 seconds back of us. So as things stand, this is going to be very close. I'm pretty much at the moment entirely banking on the fact that he's going to run out of energy before the top of the climb and things are going to start swinging back in our favor. The peloton is down to 16 riders at the moment with 4.5 kilometers to go, but really the only rider that matters at this moment is Van den Belle. I can't believe that I let him get away in this situation to begin with. If we lose, this is entirely my fault, user error, and not the fault of Andy Schleck whatsoever. A little attack by Vanden Belle's teammate. I'm not going to respond to that. I need to just keep going with this pace. Inside of 3 kilometers to go, I guess I'm going to have to kick it up slightly to 70. I don't know. I just don't really have enough energy to really pick up the pace significantly, but let's put it up towards 75 inside of 2 kilometers now. We need the gap to start falling rather quickly. 1 kilometer to go. Let's go up to 85. We're going to lay it all on the line to try and defend our jersey, but I have a feeling it's not going to be enough. Let's open up the sprint. Vanden Belle has already won the stage. It's going to be so close based on the time. I think we might, well, with the bonus seconds, he might have taken it. I'm not sure. Oh man, it's going to be really, really close. So on the podium here, Henry Vanden Belle wins the stage by 4 minutes and 8 seconds ahead of the second group on the road. We're going to see, this is the moment of truth, whether or not he will take the yellow jersey as well and win the Tour de l'Avenir. Oh my goodness. We hang on. Andy Schleck wins the Tour de l'Avenir by 1 second ahead of Henry Vanden Belle. Wow. I'm really glad that that is the result because Andy definitely deserved the win based on his riding. He was by far the strongest rider in the race. I almost lost it for him by not paying attention. So, thank goodness we hung on by a single second to take the win. We also take the best climbers classification, points classification, and of course the young rider classification as well. But man, that was close. Alright, we're on the start line now of the first of our 2 Turkish one-day races here. I still have absolutely not recovered from the end of that Tour de l'Avenir. Cannot believe I came so close to blowing it, but I'm glad we hung on in the end. We were the pre-race favorite, I believe, in the magazine for this one, so hopefully we can pick up the win and deliver on those expectations, but I think it's pretty much all going to come down to that final climb, so we're just going to sit tight, maybe pay a bit better attention this time to make sure that no one too dangerous gets 6 minutes of an advantage, but sit tight and wait to try and win the race on the final climb. Alright, we're on the final climb now, approaching the last 10Ks to go. We got a teammate, Rakita, here still protecting us. We just need to get to the front of this group so we can launch an attack here. Although the moves have begun, so let's actually tag on to the back of this guy's wheel and follow that move. And now let's keep it going. 85 pace. With 6 kilometers to go to the top of the climb, let's actually make our own move and attack now that the gradient is up there. Although once we've attacked it, lessens a little bit, but that's okay. We're going to be able to bridge across here to this remnants of the breakaway, I guess. A couple names I recognize in here, Bernas and Ventom. So if we can tag on, hopefully we can even work with these guys and try and use them to our advantage. Although it doesn't look like any of them are going to be too willing to work with us here. A lot of them look to be out of energy, but they're still managing to block me. So we've gotten through to the front of the group, so let's set our tempo here as we go towards the top. Bernas is able to get back across to our wheel, and he's actually going to be the only one who can follow us here. Everyone else is left behind, and now Bernas has been dropped as well. I'm going to bump down the pace just a bit to 75 because we don't really have that much energy left in the tank. But the good news is once we get to the top of this climb, it's pretty much flat / slightly downhill to the line. So I'm going to go ahead and use the energy gel with a kilometer to go to the summit, and then hopefully we'll have enough energy to get there and it will kick in and we can survive on the flat or run into the line. That's the top of the climb there, so we're first through there. We're just into our red energy now, which is going down fairly quickly, but the good news is our energy gel is now kicking in, and we are fast rapidly approaching the final kilometer here. We're out of energy, so we're just going to stick it on 99, and hopefully we can survive and get to the line and take the win. It looks like the field is a fair ways off, so let's celebrate and take the win. That one's a bit more comfortable than that Tour de l'Avenir one that we won by a single second, so I'm glad that we won that one a little bit, with a little bit more ease, I suppose. And after that win, we have leveled up to level 9, so we don't get to upgrade our attributes, but we do get another skill point, and we also do get access to races in a few more categories. So we have access to some World Tour races now, which probably won't come in too handy this season, but could potentially come in handy next year for sure. And let's put our skill point into level 2 of the fitness peak skill like we said we were going to do last time. I think it's time to start upgrading that so we can eventually peak for a 3-week Grand Tour. We're into our third and final race of the day. Once again, we got a ton of climbing on the menu, so hopefully we can make it 2 straight wins here with Andy Schleck. Our race day condition is a -1 today, so not quite as good as we've had over the past 2 days, but we still do have +1 to that mountain rating, so perhaps it will be more than enough to get us that win. I'd imagine it will all come down to this final really steep climb, so if we can get to the top of that first, I think we should have no trouble descending into the line and hanging on for a win. Alright, we're on to the final climb now. Our teammate Heidemann is riding really strongly to bring back the remnants of the day's breakaway. I believe there's still one rider up the road, yeah, with about a minute advantage, but we're on to this final climb. It's super steep, so once we get to the front, we're going to try and make our move and go on the offensive here. Right now we have Vargas setting the pace, probably for Oscar Sevilla. He was one of the pre-race favorites as well, but we're right up to the front here, so let's attack and make our move to try and get a gap. Sevilla is going to follow us to start with. There's a Costa guy as well. Let's stick it on relay and see if these guys are willing to cooperate with us. We did get a decent gap over the peloton right away, but it does look like they're sort of chasing as well. But we're coming up now on the one remaining survivor from the break. He's basically out of energy now. And we've got about 5.5 kilometers to go in the stage, so I'd say about 4.5 kilometers to the top of the climb. So let's just keep going along at 75 effort here. It looks like Acosta is even going to help us out and set pace a little bit, so that's good. But like I said, and like you can see on the profile, this climb is really steep, so I think it will be difficult for these guys to stay with Andy Schleck if we keep going and perhaps even up the pace a little bit towards 85. I think there's a decent chance that we could ride these guys off our wheel. And if we don't, hopefully we'll have enough energy to attack up over the top, and maybe we can keep it going. But yeah, here we go. The gaps are starting to open. Right now it's just Acosta. Let's try and observe him and see how his energy is. All we see is his green, but he gets dropped anyways, so we're free to fly at this point. Inside of 3 kilometers to go. We're going to use our energy gel with about 2.5 here. We're opening up the gap really quickly. I think basically everyone else in the race blew up trying to stay at our pace, so we should win this one with relative ease here, coming over the top of the climb and heading into the final kilometer. Let's open up the sprint now that we're here. It's going to be back-to-back wins in Turkey for Andy Schleck. Let's celebrate that as we cross the line. Yeah, another nice win. I think we're proving that we're one of the stronger riders for sure in the continental ranks, at least in terms of climbing when things go uphill. So that's going to be it for the racing in the video. We very nearly blew it in terms of our main goal for the video, but we were able to survive in the Tour de l'Avenir by 1 single second, and then we picked up 2 really nice wins in Turkey as well. So there was a moment when it was definitely in doubt, but I'd say it turned out being a pretty successful video in the end. As you can see here, as things currently stand, we have 6 remaining races before the end of the season. The biggest of those is the UCI World Championships. We're going to be representing Luxembourg in the road race. It's a really, really tough course. I've played it a few times in different playthroughs, so it's going to be difficult to try and get a result, but if we have a good race day condition, it's certainly possible. We have a decent 78 mountain rating, so you never know. We could try and get a top 10 or a top 15, but we'll have to see how it goes. And also, if we take a look at Office for a second, we've received our first contract offer, so I'm going to leave that this time around, but it's something to look into for next episode as we start seriously thinking about who's giving us offers and who we want to sign with to give us the best chance to progress next season. So it's going to be an exciting finish to the season, I think, with trying to sort out contract negotiations and then also getting a chance to ride in the World Championships. So thank you to everyone who tuned in. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time.